Thank you, Jim. Following up on Darlene's question about the Russians who are clearly very upset, what did the president actually mean when he answered yes or something like that to is President Putin a killer? Was he talking literally or was he talking metaphorically?
I don't have anything more for you to provide analysis on that, but I can say
Extremely upset about it.
So. He also repeated a story that he told in his own book about a conversation he had with President Putin, and as was evident in the readout we provided of the call the president had with President Putin, he does not hold back on his concerns about what we see as malign and problematic actions, whether it is engagement in the 2020 intervention in the 2020 election interference, a report obviously released just yesterday, their involvement in the poisoning of Alexei Navalny, ongoing reviews that are related to bounties on troops, and of course the SolarWinds hack. So he's not going to hold back in his direct communications, nor is he going to hold back publicly. And we have still found ways to work together on areas where we have mutual interests, including the extension of New START by 5 years. So that's diplomacy in action there. Go ahead.
Sorry, one more, if you don't mind. From moving from Russia to China. So while Secretaries Blinken and Austin are out in Asia, there's an elephant in the room, which would be the growing talk about China having designs on Taiwan. Is the US publicly committed to defending Taiwan, come what may?
I don't think I have anything new on our policy as it relates to Taiwan for you today. Obviously, there are a range of topics, including Taiwan, that will be discussed in these conversations in Anchorage that are happening over the next 2 days, if I'm getting the time frame correct. And I'm sure the Secretary of State and the National Security Advisor will come out and engage with the press when those meetings conclude. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Back to that DNI report. There's an assessment in there that Moscow will continue to try to influence U.S. elections, and it said the reason is that the Kremlin has concluded that it's a manageable risk. And so I'm wondering, I anticipate that you're cooking up some sanctions down the road, and we've got a review and whatnot, and we've heard some sharp language from the president. But it seems like Moscow has concluded that they can handle that, and so how will we keep them from interfering in the third consecutive presidential election?
Well, first, the president's relationship and this administration's relationship with the Russians will be very different from what we've seen over the last 4 years, and we've already seen evidence of that from his first phone call with President Putin. President Biden has been clear that the United States will also respond to a number of destabilizing Russian actions. And as you know, and as we've already talked about, we have requested new or declassified intelligence community assessments in 4 such areas and plan to respond to each of them in the coming weeks. Those are ongoing. I would say that the Russians have intervened or attempted to intervene in elections for many years. I mean, long before 2016. We certainly are very eyes wide open about that and fully aware of that. But they're going to pay a price, as the president conveyed last night. We are not going to look the other way, as we saw a bit over the last 4 years, and we will continue to press them on their actions.
And there's some language in that report. It said proxies for President Putin have undergone a disinformation or underwent a disinformation campaign, in particular alleging or pushing out disinformation of corruption of President Biden, and also the report specifically mentions his son. So what is his reaction to Putin and his proxies going after him personally?
That was not our first awareness of that. I think we all saw that play out in public. So the president felt it was important to release the unclassified version of this report, which, as you know, the assessment was done under the last administration. It is evidence of the hard work of the men and women in the civil service who keep government functioning. But it's important for people in this country, members of Congress, other countries to understand what their actions are. And if we want our adversaries like Russia are attempting to divide us. And one of our strategies is to transparently expose their tactics so that the world is aware of them. So that's why we released this report.